There's a better way to a better day. We call it the Betterment Project. The journey of betterment begins with practical solutions to improve your quality of life. The future is bright when you decide to take small steps in the right direction. We will never reach perfection, but we can always obtain betterment.
Hey everyone, I'm Lakin, and this is the Betterment Project, and I'm sitting here with my friend and co-worker Anne.
Hey!
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about habits and why habits are an important part of our lives and how to build habits. I think breaking and making new habits are vital to our quality of life. I've been reading a book about habits and trying to implement it in my life here recently. And so I've been starting off with different things. It takes, 30 days to build a habit?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, what I've been doing is implementing different, and you can do it with, whatever you want to do it with, whether it's not smoking, exercising. What are some habits you created, Anne?
Well, the way that I learned about habits was that, you basically decide what you want your life to be like. Like, I want to lose 30 pounds, whatever. Like, whatever your goals are. It's sort of like habits are really awesome when it comes to making your goals a reality.
Right.
Because habits by their nature are automatic. Once you get them in place, you don't have to think about them. They're a habit. You do them automatically. So if you create your habits towards reaching your goals, then you're reaching your goals without even trying.
Right. It just comes automatic because
Right.
you're living that's just your natural way of living. It's a habit to you now. So it's automatically going to make you reach your goals no matter what.
Right. And if I wanted to lose 30 pounds, then I could say, all right, what habits would foster that goal? And it might be walking a mile every day and not eating after 6 p.m. or whatever. And so then you go through 30 days of kind of a hard time creating those habits. But then once you've put in that work for those 30 days, then it becomes automatic. And then you're not really even having to concentrate on your goal of trying to lose the weight. It'll just start falling off if that habit is in fact in line with that goal.
Right. Yep. And I read something the other day, and it talks about when we're creating a habit, we don't see results instantaneously. So even though we have a goal of losing weight or not smoking or whatever your goal happens to be, we don't see, instantaneous results, which I think is difficult for me to wrap my head around, because I'm in recovery and I have that addiction part of my brain that wants instant, results, instant gratification. But it was talking about how we get 1% better every single day. So by creating this healthy habit that we're doing, whether it's eating better or whatever it is, and so we're not seeing the instant results, but over time we end up seeing them. And so we can't give up during the middle of a habit that we're creating, because we're going to hit a plateau where we're like, oh, I just want to give up, I'm not seeing the results that I want to see. And we have to push past, I think, that plateau before we can get to the end results, and it just becomes a better, a better part of our lives.
That's a good point. What do you do when you hit that plateau to, like, get beyond that part?
I think that part is either do or die with your habit. It's either you're either gonna quit,
You're either committed or you're not.
you're gonna commit, or you're gonna not when you hit that point, and you're gonna hit that point eventually. So it's either push through it. I'll give an example for my. I started exercising, trying to lose a little bit of weight, and the first week I lost a tiny amount, but it was enough to keep me going because I was seeing a result. Then the following week, got on the scale, gained a pound.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to give up. I wanted to cuss that scale out and walk out.
Because
of
the
gym.
walking you were doing, the gym, the whole thing is not pleasant for you because it's a brand new thing. And it's work and it's effort and it's not comfortable.
Yeah, definitely not comfortable, and not something that I really like to do. But I started trying to think of things that were positive about the habit that I was building, aside from the, weight. I'm sleeping better at night. I have more energy during the day. So there were good things that were coming out of this habit. It's creating me to be healthier, to be stronger, physically, emotionally. It's making me a lot better. I got endorphins going off in my brain. And,
But also, you're creating a positive habit, and that's like a good character building thing. So, like, your character is improving as well. Like,
right.
It's just better for you in every different direction, really.
Right. It'd make me a better person. It might, I might create more longevity in my life.
Right.
I could live longer.
And just starting this one habit and seeing it through successfully will empower you to be able to start other habits and see them through, because oh, I've done it with this, so I can do it with this.
Right.
So it's empowering that you're even doing it.
Yeah. What are some habits that you've created?
Well, let me think. I have so many habits.
I'll tell you a few of mine.
Okay.
So besides this new one of, trying to walk every day and trying to, not gorge eat, because I binge eat a lot. Some habits that I've already built and that are in place are, my reading. I make sure I'm just devoted every single day to reading, the Word of God, because that's something that's important to me. Mm-hmm. But that's something that also does not come naturally to me.
Right.
There's times where I don't want. It felt like, oh gosh, I gotta read the Bible.
Well, yeah, because you're surrounded by a world of TV and internet, things that are easy to read and do and entertain yourself with. So reading the Bible seems like a stretch. Right.
And it was for a while, but after, forcing myself to do it every single day, because I enjoyed it some days too.
Yeah.
Just like I've enjoyed walking, with this exercise thing. But there were days where I had to push myself to be like, no, this is something that I do every single day. And before long, it's just automatic. I won't do anything, at first thing in the morning until I've read the Word.
That's good.
It just comes natural to me.
Another thing to think about is, like, for example, the walking habit. Like, it's not something you look forward to doing. It's, a struggle kind of to get motivated to do it. But if you look at it as an opportunity to listen to your favorite podcast or listen to some good positive meditation or whatever, then you could listen to whatever you enjoy listening to while you're walking. So then it becomes not just going to the gym to walk, it becomes going to the gym to listen to my favorite podcast or listen to my favorite music or whatever.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
the same with reading the Bible. It's like maybe in moments of stress or trouble, you can look at it as a chance to escape from your troubles and turn towards the Word of God and sort of take that moment as like a break from your stress.
And it definitely is, because there's been many moments where I've had breakthrough during those sessions of reading the Word, and got the encouragement that I needed for the day. And so there's positive things definitely that come out of creating a positive habit. Let's think of another one that I've done.
Yeah, there's creating habits, and then there's breaking habits. It's like two totally different topics, really.
Right.
Like creating habits can be quite difficult, I think, because you're implementing a new thing into your daily routine.
Right.
But to me, it's also a little bit easier than breaking habits, because like I have a really hard time not eating sugar. And so that's like a habit that
Same.
I'm just, struggle with trying to get a grip on.
Yeah.
So breaking habits is tougher for me.
Right. Right. And I mean, obviously, I had to break the habit of, addiction, wanting to use drugs. That was a real hard one to break, because a lot of times the bad habits come with mindsets that are just so deeply engraved into you that it makes it way harder to break, because if I had a bad day, I'd run, well, screw it, today's the day I'm drinking,
Right.
Today's the day I'm going to use. And I had to learn how to break a mindset that I had built
How
up.
did you do that?
How did I do that? With I mean, it was a lot of white knuckling it at first.
Yeah.
It was a lot of surrounding myself with other people in recovery, that were going through the same things that I was going through. So it helped to have somebody that I could identify with.
Right.
That was a big help for me. And of course, leaning on the Lord, that was another big help for me. And just, honestly, I think just deciding, making up my mind, this is not how I want my life to go anymore.
Right.
This cannot be how my life is. Those bad habits bring destruction. Whether it's smoking, whether it's drugs, alcohol, whether it's eating sugar.
Yeah.
They're all those bad habits, bring something negative to your life.
Right, and you may not see it at the time because it's bringing the positive, whatever it is, like
the instant gratification.
Yeah, filling that void in your soul or whatever it is that, but down the line it's bad for you, and you know this, but you do it anyway because for the moment it feels good.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So, but building habits, complete opposite of breaking habits.
Right.
Doesn't feel good in the beginning, but then at the end you get a reward. Right. Versus the bad habit, you get the reward first and then the havoc later.
That's true. That's very true.
So this one thing in the book, it was talking about positive and negative compounds for productivity if you're wanting to build if your habit has to do with productivity. So the positive is accomplishing one extra task is a small feat on any given day, but it counts for a lot over an entire career. The effect of automating an old task or mastering a new skill can be even greater. The more tasks you can handle without thinking, the more your brain is free to focus on other areas. Versus the negative compound is stress. The frustration of a traffic jam, the weight of parenting responsibilities, the worry of making ends meet, the strain of slightly high blood pressure. By themselves, these are common causes of stress, are manageable, but when they persist for years, little stresses compound into serious health issues. So basically, it's just talking about how you can do little things to create habits that are going to be positive in your life. Doing things to lower your high blood pressure, just mastering a new skill, so you do it without thinking and your brain's free to focus on other areas, and that just cuts out the stress. So knowledge compound, learning one new idea won't make you a genius, but a commitment to lifelong learning can be transformative. Furthermore, each book you read not only teaches you something new, but also opens up different ways of thinking about old ideas. As Warren Buffett says, that's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest. And I think that's just how habits are. It's just something that you're doing to just build.
And I think what you were saying earlier about how, like, when you're doing things on automatic pilot, kind of, it does free up your mind to think about other things and creates a little bit more peace in your life if you're running on automatic. You know what I mean? Like right. For example, I have 3 cats. And when I come home every day from work, I immediately feed them their dinner and clean out their litter box and, do this and do that. And I, go through a routine of habits that I do every single day. So then I don't have to think, oh, did I do that? Or, oh, wait, do I need to do that? Because I just do it automatically. So I don't even have to think about it.
Right.
It's just a matter of, it takes up, 20 minutes of my time to do everything I need to do when I get home from work. But then it's done and I never had to think about it.
Right. You're cutting out that stress. And that's what I've been doing with my working out. So the night before, I make sure I pack my gym bag, I make my smoothie, I get my everything ready to go for my coffee, do everything that I need to get done. So in the morning, I don't have an excuse of, oh, I gotta get all this stuff ready before I go to the gym, and
right, and you don't have time to come up with reasons not to go to the gym.
Exactly. It's like I have no excuse. Everything's ready to go.
Right.
I can walk out the door.
Exactly. It's like a lot of my habits are about time management. Like what you were saying. You do all this stuff the night before, so the next morning you have no excuse but to just go to the gym.
Right.
And to me, like, my habits are largely based around time management. Like, I pick out all the clothes I'm going to wear for the week on Sunday, so that I don't have to think, what am I going to wear today? And because I can spend 15-20 minutes staring in my closet, putting this on, saying I don't want to wear this, trying that on,
and that probably relieves a lot of stress.
Yeah,
too.
Because when you're trying to get ready to walk out the door to go to work, I mean,
you don't want to be trying on 15 outfits and throwing them everywhere. I know that would be a good habit for me to create, because that's what I'm doing. I'm throwing my clothes everywhere and stressed out, and
I know, and it takes time.
Yeah.
And the time's clicking by because you're like, okay, I gotta leave for work in 5 minutes, and I still don't know what I'm wearing.
All right, I'm walking out the door looking stupid.
Exactly.
That's a good habit, definitely.
I mean, that's just a little minor habit that doesn't really amount to anything, but it does amount to something. You know what I mean?
It does.
It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it makes a big difference in the long run.
And that can go with financially too. I think, so we could talk about financial habits. If you're just completely overwhelmed or with your financial situation, or you're broke, or you're doing this, you can start to create little habits, that will um, help you financially, like not eating out every day, or not, buying stuff on Amazon that you don't really need, um, or adding something to, make a habit of adding something that is cultivating um, more income for you. Doing things like that can help release, the stress of financial stuff that you're going through, and also create better habits. Like, I don't eat out every day. Um, you know, Lakin makes her lunch at home.
Mm.
I think saying stuff like that to yourself too can help with the,
That's a good
creating a
point.
habit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Lakin, you don't eat cake at 10 p.m. at night.
Right.
That's not something that you do. That's not who you are.
Right.
Reminding yourself of, while you're trying to cultivate that habit, like, oh, that's not me.
Right.
I don't spend money like that. I don't eat things like that.
Right.
I think that can help with building the habit as well.
Yeah, that almost gets into like affirmations too, like ways to kind of boost your morale for creating habits or breaking habits.
Yeah, and to kind of trick your mind into being like, that's not who I am. These habits are creating an identity. They're creating who you want to be in
Right.
the long run. I want to be a person of health. I want to be a person who's financially stable. I want to be a person who is reliable, dependable, on time, um, different things like that.
Right. One thing I do for my financial habits is I keep a spreadsheet in my Google Drive that lists out every bill that I'm going to have come due that every month, like, my regular bills. And so every day I look at that spreadsheet so that I can sort of see, okay, what do I have coming up that's due? And I also, every day when I go in on that spreadsheet, I check off the ones that I've just paid or whatever. And so I'm able to, like, make sure I'm getting everything taken care of that I need to take care of financially.
hmm
And
Yeah, that's definitely useful. I do that with my calendar on my phone too. I have everything. I make sure, which I used to never do this. I used to just fly by the handle and try to remember everything that I'm supposed to do, and appointments that I have. And you look at my calendar now on my phone, and it's full.
right,
And I got alarms set. Do this on this day, this on this day. And by doing that, I'm actually meeting more of my goals. I'm
right,
making more appointments that I'm supposed to be at.
yeah,
I'm less stressed out, for missing appointments. I'm less
right,
upset at myself because I didn't do something that week that I had planned on doing.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big phone calendar person. Like, I set alarms for every little thing. I mean, if I were to look at my phone right now, it would blow your mind the number of things I have in my calendar.
And I do that too. That was one thing that you told me to do, because I was having trouble setting aside time for meditation, and you told me that one day. You're like, add that to your calendar. Add that meditation time every night to your calendar. Set an alarm to where you can build that as a habit.
Right,
So I started doing that. So I set my alarm to go off and do my meditation thing at night, because that's something that is a good habit to have,
right.
a healthy habit to have.
And utilizing your phone calendar and alerts and all that stuff just frees your mind up even more. that's one less thing you have to think about.
Right.
So between your habits and your alarms going off on your phone, there's tons of stuff you're not having to keep track of in your head.
Right.
And reminding yourself to do.
Right. And eventually you don't need all those alarms.
Yeah, eventually they become habits.
Yeah, it becomes habit. So I don't have it set in my phone anymore. It's just automatic when I lay down at night, I'm putting on my meditation.
Right. But it is a good way that's a really good tip. That's a good tool for creating habits, is setting the alarms.
Yeah. Planning.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I think this was a good conversation.
Yeah, I do too. Habits are really important and good topic.
Yeah, good topic. Well, thank you, Anne, for speaking with me today about habits, creating and breaking habits. And thank y'all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Have a great day.